Hi, everybody. My name is Linda Robert. I'm your coach, bringing you a tip today on healthy sexual you. Now, I am not a sex coach, so there's a lot of information that I'm not going to be able to provide you. I'm a life coach and a relationship coach. But I do want to talk to you about something that's, pretty special for me, and that's sexual health or sensual health. Last night, I organized an event, and it was with several women. It was a pure romance event where we had a professional presenter who talked to us about some of the products that's new on the market and some of the products that she has that brings a sense of sensuality to a woman, a man, or a couple. And it also allowed us to talk about uh, sensations that we want to feel again, especially at our age. And it allowed us to talk about what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and some of the challenges that women our age have. When it comes to menopausal women and some of the dryness that we might experience. So there's all kinds of products that are available out there to help to lubricate the vagina of a woman, and it also is very helpful products for men as well. But I'm mostly going to concentrate on a couple of things that I learned. One of the things that I picked up was this it's like a ring that you put on your finger, and there's a little button here that you press really hard, and it starts vibrating. And that is for a clitoris stimulation. Now, it's really easy to use. You just put it on your finger, and rub your clitoris with this. And if you want to shut it off, you simply press it down and it shuts off. And what I love about it is that it charges up with this. And guess what's at the other end? And some of you may say, well, I already know that. I've seen it. Well, I hadn't seen it. It goes into your computer. And the reason I thought, oh my God, this is great, is years ago, I remember seeing a program on TV, Sex and the City. And in this particular episode, they were talking about these type of products. And there was a pink bunny rabbit. You might remember having seen that episode. Well, that night, I was really having a hard time sleeping after seeing this program. And I'm looking for my purple monster, as I called it. But the purple monster didn't have any batteries. And I was like, oh my God, you have to have batteries for these things, of course. So now you don't need so much batteries, but you got to have a computer around or a plug-in where you can charge them up. This is another interesting looking thing. Now, if I would have seen this anywhere, I would have wondered, what is this? Because it really looks like it could be used for different things. And in fact, it's a vibrator that also you can plug in and you can recharge, which is really great. There's a little button here that you can just plug into to the one end of the USB. But there's also buttons here on this side here that you use, and it has different types of vibration. I don't know if you can hear that, but okay. Anyway, so this part here is used for stimulation, which is just awesome. I'm just going to shut it off there. Yeah, so really easy to handle, right? And it doesn't look like the big giant penis that you also have available, if you want to use that as well. Now, I just remembered last night they did have a penis with a suction cup that stays at the bottom. So honestly, there's a lot of information that's available and a lot of different types of products or toys. Some people call them toys, that's available out there, especially if you're useful if you're single. Now, as you know, I'm a coach and I work primarily with singles, so I'm kind of thinking single in mind, but it can be used in couples as well. But the point is that when you've been single for a while and you don't have a partner, you kind of miss having sex and you kind of miss having that sensation. And so sometimes it's uncomfortable to talk about. I just remember I shared that last night that it was when I was in my late 30s, early 40s that I actually was open enough to go to a store and purchase, my purple monster, because when I was younger, there's no way that I even would look at it. And I know that it's not so much about age, but it's about maybe being open to it or being exposed to it. And I know there's a lot of you out there that may go, there's no way in heck that I would consider that. And that's okay, because it really isn't just about using these type of products. It's about finding ways to bring pleasure to yourself, and to find ways to feel sensual and sexual again. Because if you haven't been with a partner for a while, you kind of lose that feeling. Or maybe you've been wearing the drabby clothes, and you kind of lose that feeling of being feminine. Of course, I'm talking to you women out there right now. So how can you bring a little bit of more femininity to your life? And sometimes it is actually wearing a dress, wearing a sexy negligee. Sometimes it might be, using these toys to start feeling a different type of sensation again. So how do you bring sensuality into your life? I'd be really curious to hear some of your suggestions as well. I know for myself, when I went to the event last night, or I coordinated the event, we were with women, and we had a potluck at first. So it was really kind of cool to be able to talk in an intimate way. So it could be inviting a few women over and inviting a professional. We had Tracy that came over from Pure Romance. She did a great job, very professional. She added a little bit of humor to it as well. But she knew who she was addressing. She knew she was addressing women that were in their, late 40s, 50s. And so she changed her speech, her presentation, to suit the audience per se. So, if you know of someone who does that type of presentation, why not give them a call? Because they will do a very professional presentation to your group. Sometimes you might go to a retail store too. I'll just share a little bit of that story. I remember a few years ago, my purple monster had died. It just wasn't working anymore. And so I happened to be in the neighborhood, and this wasn't planned, but I noticed that there was an adult store in that area, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go in there. But wow, man, that place was like huge. I went there by myself. It was like really, really lots and lots and lots of stuff. And I just didn't know where to start. And so the clerk came up to me and she asked me, how can I help you? It was very nice. And she says, well, what are you looking for? And I had to kind of take a little step back and go, okay, hang on. I guess I have to think about what I want, what I'm looking for, what sensations I'm looking for. So that's one thing you might have to keep in mind, is if you go to a store like that, you have to really be aware of yourself and aware of what brings you pleasure. And so, if it's needing clitoris stimulation, then you have to kind of tell her, well, this is what I'm looking for. And she was really nice. This lady was really nice, and she says, I think I know what you're looking for. And that's when she gave me a little silver, they call it a silver bullet, and this thing has a remote control on it with a wire. Eventually that didn't work either, so I'm kind of testing this new stuff out. But it's the same old question: what do you want? What do you want? What type of sensations do you want to feel when we're talking about personal sexual health? Do you want to feel that way? And maybe you don't, and that's okay. So how else might you want to feel? How else might you want to bring that feeling of feeling feminine to you, or feeling sexual or sensual? How might you want to do that? So ask yourself those questions. And it doesn't mean, having to purchase those type of toys. It could simply mean dressing up more feminine. Maybe wearing dresses more often, or high heels more often. Because if you've noticed, when you wear different types of clothes, it really feels like completely different. Just another story before I say goodbye. A few years ago, it was Halloween, and there was a fella that I was interested in, and I made a decision to dress up as Marilyn Monroe. Oh boy. And all that week, I had the hair done up that night, but all that week, I was playing Marilyn Monroe movies, and I started singing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and I even got nails put on. And that night, when I went out for Halloween, I was all dressed up with a nice dress. I didn't get the white one that flies in the wind, but I got something very similar. And I'll tell you, that whole week was just absolutely, just great. It was just great. So, if it means having to do that, then, it's worth it, man. It's really worth it. So that is one aspect of health that I want you to be considering. Of course, there's other aspects of health, which I'll be talking about in other videos. But this particular aspect of health is equally as important as physical health or social health or emotional health or occupational health and all the other types of domains that you may have in your wellness wheel. So this is Linda G. Robert, your solution lady, your coach, with some really fancy information today. I hope that you've enjoyed this short video. Check me out on my website at www.lindagrobert.com. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.